brands need to use influencers because right now it's underpriced.
Lotanna from Expo, thanks so much for coming in.
No worries, no worries. Came down from Leicester.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
All the way from
Just for to this?
Yeah, just for this. Yeah, yeah.
I was going to say you're nuts, but of course, it makes sense.
So look, it's interesting. You put out a tweet last week, and you met one of our Startup Ad alumni interviewers, Chikara, last week.
Yeah, great guy.
She said, "Look, yeah, he's a legend. So come on the show. The Instagram influencer space is something that we have covered a little bit over the past couple of years, and it's just getting stronger and stronger.
Definitely.
But it's getting more confusing, right?
Exactly.
People are getting more followers, and they don't know what to do, and brands don't know what to do and how to safely."
How to reach out to them and all that,
So
it's all complicated. Yeah.
it is complicated, but you're here to clear it up,
Yeah,
right?
basically. Yeah.
So look, tell us a bit about Expo and what it's all about first before we get stuck in.
Yeah, so Expo is an app that allows micro brands to securely pay Instagram influencers. So what we actually, our aim or our mantra or whatever, we want to actually help micro brands have more access to influencer marketing. Because as you know, the influencer agencies out there can charge up to £40,000 per month, and that's just stupid crazy to be honest. Yeah, but they are able to charge extortionate prices because people don't really know about the market, and it's quite new and emerging. So there's no standardization at all. So what we actually provide is a payment solution that's transparent between the influencer and the micro brand.
How long are you going?
So we released a beta in October.
Okay.
We started developing this last year, about March. We released a beta in October. It actually crashed because we had too much inbound.
Oh, that's always a good problem.
So we're re-releasing it in the next 2 weeks now. Yeah. So
it's so interesting. So you had said off camera, and you can see it happening, that a brand wants to pay an influencer to do a post about their new holiday or app or location or whatever.
Yeah, whatever it is.
So they pay them, and then the person might not deliver what they promised.
Yeah.
Because they've already got the money, but then the brand won't pay until or the person won't post a photo and
until they get paid. So the main issues micro brands face, especially, is payments. So let's start with contacting the influencer first of all. So you have two ways: DMs or email, right? And I was an influencer myself into sports athletics, and I had so many emails, so many DMs, and I found it very hard to funnel whose business, who's there to waste my time, whose friends, whose family.
Yeah. How many followers did you have at the time?
It was only about 27,000.
Okay.
But I was earning probably like 1,500 per month, literally, from those followers anyways. So the sports brands were reaching out to me to market stuff. Anyway, so that's the first issue. So when you do email them, let's say, it can take up to like 3 months for them to respond to you. And by then your campaign's finished, then what's the point, isn't it? And then secondly, when you finally contacted them, then you want to obviously tell them what to post and everything. Then you see how to pay them, and there's only two ways: bank transfer, which has the highest rates of scams because you can just transfer it and they block you. It's happened to me personally, and PayPal. But PayPal is still tedious because if something goes wrong, there's still that 14-day dispute process you have to go through.
Yeah, of course.
And because like you pay them through PayPal, and you still have to contact them through email again. So it's two separate platforms, and it's just too tedious.
Messy,
And you can go to influencer agency, but like I said, it's just too expensive for micro brands.
Let's just talk about influencers for a second, because everyone has an idea of what an influencer might be, but you're dealing with micro influencers, which is anyone that has 10,000 to 100,000 followers, right? So does that mean someone who has 10,000 followers just can reach out to you and go, hey, I see myself as being an influencer, want to get on the platform, and then you might be able to go, this is ideal for what we're doing because I can see where it could work with different brands, and you put them on the site. Is that the way it genuinely works?
So how it works on the app is that they sign up to the app using the Instagram API, and then we check their account to make sure it's legitimate in terms of their followers, comments and everything. So we've partnered with a company called Hype Auditor, so we use their API to help us with that.
Do a lot actually reach out that have fake followers just trying to get on?
Yes, a lot of them do. And what we actually found is people with more followers have more fake followers actually, but they just don't know. So people who have, like, for example, 300k followers will have a lot of bot accounts and stuff like that. But they won't really know because they don't really. I see micro influencers, they don't really care about the audience that much. It's just more of a followers. But then people, actually the reason why we focus on micro influencers is because they have a community. So engagement is so much higher with micro influencers. Because when you come to, like, for example, Kim Kardashian and stuff like that, people just follow her just to follow. They don't actually really, like if she recommends something, people don't really want to or care about it.
Yeah.
But if it's someone who has 10,000 or 20,000 followers, me as a person thinks that person is more reachable, so their probably recommendation will be much better.
It's more like a mate referring something rather than a celebrity.
Exactly like that. So that's how it happens. And then they have to have at least 3% engagement on our platform. So we saw that the average engagement on Instagram is 1.6% it was. So we thought let's about double that and make sure that they have that engagement enough for the brands.
Yeah, of course. I just want to ask as well, because like you can also use Instagram in different ways. You can post a picture, post a video, or actually Instagram stories. What way does it work with this? Is to be an influencer, do you just post an image, or is it video and stories as well?
Yeah, so how it would work on the app is a brand could go in there, they see an influencer, they see their prices straight away, so there's no need to ask, what do you charge and stuff like that. And they see their prices for story, we do story, feed, or both, and they see the prices for that already. They literally click on that, the description box opens up, they type in the DLs, attach whatever files, then they choose a date that they want them to post the whatever campaign it is, and they send the request. So what then happens, then the influencer gets a request notification saying they literally have 24 hours to respond, accept or decline.
So it doesn't go too long.
Exactly, so accept or decline. So if the influencer declines, then obviously we suggest a different influencer to the brand. If the influencer accepts, the brand's payment method gets charged straight away, but then we hold the money. And then it's only once the influencer has posted the content or whatever it is that we then release the money to the influencer. So what actually happens is that a chat is then opened up between the brand and the influencer once the influencer accepts, and then they can talk about the little details like maybe the address they need to send the clothes to or whatnot.
It's interesting because I think a lot of, I was showing you before, and this girl now, she's a huge following on Instagram, and you had mentioned that a lot of Instagram influencers like this aren't all that business minded, right?
Exactly.
There's such a big following, and this girl works out and she does all this sort of stuff, so a lot of people follow her for fitness and this and that.
Exactly, yeah.
But then she doesn't have, I said, you must be making bank, you're taking huge money on this. And she was like, well, no, not really. I said, surely you have like brands DMing you all the time. Well, I get thousands of DMs, so I don't.
Yeah, she just doesn't go through them.
She just doesn't go through his wife, like send me your shoes and all this weird stuff in a DM. So you have to go through all that, which she just doesn't want to do or whatever. So I don't think a lot of influencers, if micro-influencers understand that they can make money.
Yeah, I think especially on the brand side, I think this is the time brands need to use influencers, because right now it's underpriced. This is underpriced attention. Because
so they're taking advantage of it as well. Yeah.
Literally, you could get an influencer who has 100,000. Actually, we had a campaign we did. We had an influencer who has 250,000 followers, and she only charged £200.
Wow.
But then you get another influencer who has 50,000 followers who charge like £1,000.
See,
so there's no standardization because it's just so new.
Yeah.
So people just literally pull in numbers from the air.
See, people tend to forget. Like, I know the ways in the past you kind of look, what makes you an influencer, you know, right? But it's only eyeballs. That's all that a brand really is interested in.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter who you are or what you do, but you've got a certain amount of followers. You know, it's just getting our brand. Like, you can think, like, I'm just going to pull a brand out, like Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
You don't need to be, say, an entrepreneur to buy Coca-Cola. So, someone with 10,000 followers, it's going to be a lot cheaper for them to go, right, let's do 10 of these campaigns.
Exactly.
Instead of going after one person's got 100,000 followers.
That's literally, and we're actually seeing bigger brands do that a lot more now. So what they do, they'll be like, instead of going for someone with 1 million followers and paying 10 grand, let's say, let's get for 100 people with 10,000 followers. That way we reach more communities and more pockets as well, and the engagement is generally always higher. Anyways, that way.
It makes sense. If you've 10,000 followers and 3% engagement rate, and you charge 200 quid, if someone has 30,000 followers and 1%, you're better off.
Exactly, definitely 100%. But I think a key thing for brands as well is to educate themselves. So that's what we actually want to do in the future with Expo, is educate brands on how to use influencer marketing. Because it's not just about just how many eyeballs are looking at content sometimes. So it depends on what your goal is. If it's just brand awareness, then that's it. That's it. If it's actual leads, you need to make sure the influencer's audience is also aligned with your audience as well. And use influencers and maybe paid social at the same time. Because a lot of people think, oh yeah, if I use influencers, I'm going to get this amount of ROI. But what you can do is literally have targeted ads, for example, or what I say, and one of my friend Timothy, he's actually the founder of a company called Fanbytes, and what he recommends is that you have an influencer post something, right, and they use like Facebook pixels to retarget that same audience that used or interacted with that, and then just say at the end of it, oh, we saw that you watched thingy's video or YouTube video, here's 20% discount because of that. And they're more likely to convert because I actually watch and follow that person.
Clever.
Yeah,
do you find that the majority of it is brand awareness, or is there a lot of tracking going on as well?
Yeah, I feel like it starts off as brand awareness, and then they want to actually start targeting the ROI nowadays.
Okay.
But I think that right now we're still in the brand awareness side of things when it comes to micro brands, because people are just still trying to find their feet, basically.
Yeah.
How realistic are brands, right, when it comes to, because eyeballs and likes, you can easily see this photo got 12,000 likes.
Yeah.
How realistic are brands when it comes to, say, app downloads or product buys? How realistic do you find brands just have this crazy high expectation of downloads or buys, or are they fairly realistic?
Yeah, I don't think they're unrealistic at all. I think it's something new to them, so sometimes I think they actually undersell it quite a lot because they don't really think, they're just really trying to dabble in it, basically. So we've had campaigns where it's had like thousands of downloads and they thought it was only going to be like 100 or 200 downloads here and there. Yeah. So it's very hard to calculate, but what's actually great is that Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, I think the F8 announcement he did, influencers will be able to actually tag or have a website. You can basically check out straight through the influencer's account.
Oh, right.
So normally, this is why I actually spoke to Chikara, because obviously, you had the whole thing with the link, which is very key because you can only have one link, and obviously if you can have another way that shows your platform, shows your Instas, whatever, and then has links attached to the posts, that would be great for brands. Yeah. But now, since that announcement, what's going to happen is that if let's say this pillow, and I take a picture of it, a consumer can literally just go in there and actually buy straight from Instagram, to like save their card to Instagram.
That's genius. When's that going to be launched?
They said they've started piloting it already, but obviously they do it with the bigger brands first, and then they'll finally let it through to the masses. I'll probably say about 2 years.
How much revenue is that going to take in if people can just click and buy?
Yeah. It's crazy. It's crazy.
How much can someone charge? Like, if someone has 10,000 followers, how much can they charge?
It really I've had someone who charges £10 per post.
Okay.
I've had someone who charges up to £1,000. It depends on their engagement. It also depends on the
how niche it is,
and the category they're in as well, and how long they have been an influencer as well.
Okay.
And how effective their community is. So a key thing I always look for is actually comments, or obviously genuine comments. But the more comments you tend to see, the more interactive the users are.
Yeah, it's interesting because sometimes we go to our Instagram, and because the hashtags that we use are entrepreneur and stuff like this, so you get a lot of great hustle today, and you get a lot of generic stuff. You know who these people are.
Exactly.
So it's interesting now to go through the comments. But you were saying fake people can buy fake comments, fake followers,
fake everything. Literally, they can literally buy stuff like that. But luckily, we've partnered with Hype Auditor, so what they actually do, they don't actually even use the Instagram API. So because when you buy fake followers or fake likes, they can see how many of those people that commented, if they actually follow you.
Oh.
And obviously, if it's a high proportion that don't follow you and are commenting, then that looks a bit weird and suspect.
Did Instagram not have something in their algorithm that if you bought fake followers, they don't have your hashtags discoverable? Was there something?
Yeah, they had something like that, but it's not really effective. As of now, people are still buying likes, still buying followers, and they're still ending up on the feed and stuff like that. So I think they're hopefully going to crack down on that as soon as possible.
Yeah, well, Justin Bieber lost a couple of million, didn't he? Like, they just they got rid of a lot of fake followers. He lost millions.
You'd be amazed how many celebrities have fake followers, though, because they have to look as if they've got followers.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
But it doesn't necessarily mean that they actually bought it, to be honest.
Okay.
Some bot accounts just automatically follow
them
accounts.
anyway. Okay.
But this is what I mean, celebrities don't really, when I say care, I don't mean in a bad way, but they don't really follow their followers as much.
Of course,
it's just there for their
they could have 2 million followers and they're following 3 people.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't really care as much. But micro influencers really look at the people that follow them. So they'll be like, okay, cool, I don't know this person. This person has interacted in the last 90 days. block and unblock so that they can't follow me anymore.
Well, they also want good engagement as well.
Of course, yeah.
They could have someone just trolling them.
Exactly, that's that's literally it. Yeah.
Big time. So look, it's really interesting for our audience. So thanks for coming down from Leicester.
No worries.
We'll put the link to Expo below. If there is brands or is people with more than 10,000 followers on Instagram, please do check it out because there's money to be made. Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Thanks so much.
Thanks for coming on the show.
Thanks a million.
Thanks so much.